Welcome to True Crime Stories Podcast Episode 3. In this episode we will discuss Maggie Murdaugh's intuition that was telling her not to go home, but Alex Murdaugh used his dying father as bait to lure Maggie to her death. We will also examine the last 24 hours of her life. On June 7, 2021, Maggie Murdaugh did not know that it would be her last day on Earth, but she did have a feeling that something wasn't right and Alex Murdaugh was up to something. Later we will talk about the text messages Maggie sent to her girlfriend telling her that something wasn't right with Alex. Maggie Murdaugh was at their Edisto beach house in South Carolina on June 7, 2021. She was getting work done on the beach house for an upcoming 4th of July celebration at the beach house. Alex reached out to Maggie and told her that she needed to see his sick father before he died, but she didn't want to go back to their Moselle property. Maggie called her sister to talk about everything.
Maggie called me that day and said she was at Edisto. She had some men working on the house, and Mr. Randolph was not doing well at all, and Alec really wanted her to come home that night. She hadn't planned on it, but that he needed her to come home, and Paul was going to be there too.
On the phone call Maggie had with her sister encouraged her to go meet Alex. At the trial she broke down crying and said that would be the last time she spoke to her sister Maggie. People News reported that Maggie initially told Alex that she wasn't going back to their Moselle property, but instead they could meet at the hospital. Alex somehow convinced Maggie to agree with meeting him at their Moselle property and she would follow him to the hospital. According to SLED, there was missed calls from Alex to Maggie. Maggie also sent her friend Blanca a text saying, quote, "I'm waiting at Dr. Alex wants me to come home. I have to leave door open at Edisto. I trust Mexicans to shut and lock for me. His dad is back in hospital. No cancer. It's pneumonia. Alex is about to die, hope he doesn't go down there to sleep. Alex need to take care of himself as well." After that Alex texted Maggie and said, quote, "How's your doctor's appointment?" Maggie responds, quote, "Waiting as usual." Maggie texted Blanca, her housekeeper and friend, about Alex's dad Randolph Murdaugh. She said, quote, "I'm scared for him and Alex and all of us." Blanca responded, quote, "I know, just pray about it. Just pray about it and hope he gets a little better. Alex and you really need to relax. Always being on the go with little to no sleep is not healthy. I have a doctor's appointment in the morning in Beaufort. If I go to Moselle I will let you know." Maggie spoke to their housekeeper and asked her to cook dinner. After the housekeeper cooked them steak, rice, gravy and green beans, she texted Maggie saying, quote, "Dinner's on the stove, just left." Maggie texts Blanca, "Thank you." By now Maggie is in the West Aisley area, Charleston area. We know that because her phone pinged from that area. Maggie then texts Paul telling him that she is getting a foot massage, and Paul replied to the text message asking his mom what the housekeeper cooked, and she told him. Maggie Murdaugh's nail tech spoke to Court TV. The nail tech did her nails for a long time and Maggie told her a lot of things. Maggie told her nail tech that she was going to divorce Alex and was looking for an investigator. She said Maggie was a happy person that was always smiling, loved the beach and loved her sons. She felt like Maggie wasn't represented at the trial and the public didn't get a chance to know Maggie as a person. Next Alex called Maggie and they spoke for 104 seconds. He probably was calling her to make sure she didn't change her mind about coming and foil his plot. Then Alex texted Maggie telling her Paul said she was getting a pedi and to call him when she got done. Maggie is now headed to Moselle. Her phone pinged between 7:07 p.m. to 7:50 p.m. from Highway 17 driving towards Moselle. While Maggie was driving to meet Alex, she must have got a bad feeling for her to send her friend text messages that said Alex's behavior felt fishy and she felt that he was up to something. Please don't forget to subscribe. Maggie Murdaugh called her sister Marion Proctor and they talked for 7 minutes and 39 seconds. At 7:50 p.m. Maggie's phone pinged in Walterboro, which is a half-hour away from Moselle. That means Maggie arrived at Moselle between 8:20 and 8:30 p.m. At 8:31 p.m. John Marvin Murdaugh sends a text to many family members, including Alex and Maggie, that said, quote, "I plan to go over to visit Dad tomorrow afternoon. Is anyone else planning to go?" Maggie Murdaugh's phone did not unlock for the notification until 8:49 p.m. When Maggie arrived at Moselle, she left her car running, thinking her and Alex was about to leave and go over to the hospital so they can visit Alex's father. Between 8:30 and 8:33 p.m. Maggie's phone had recorded that she had taken 43 steps. She had seen her son Paul at the dog kennels with his friend's dog that he was watching for his friend and walked over to see him. Between 8:44 and 8:55 p.m. Paul recorded a video for his friend at the kennels, showing one of the dogs that helped seal the deal for Alex Murdaugh whereabouts on the night of this tragedy. Multiple witnesses testified that they could hear Paul, Maggie and Alex Murdaugh talking at the kennels in Paul's video. You can clearly hear Alex talking to Bubba on the video. The Murdaugh's dog Bubba was Maggie's favorite dog out of all the dogs they had, and now he lived with their old housekeeper. At 8:49 p.m. Maggie's phone is unlocked, and then she reads another text in the group chat about Randolph Murdaugh. This would be the last time she used her phone. It is believed that Maggie walked back to her car and heard gunshots from Paul being shot, and she ran towards her baby to help him. The last thing Maggie seen before her death was her son dying. Then Alex chased after Maggie and hunted her down until he fatally shot her. Maggie was at Moselle for less than a half hour before Alex's plot unfolded. After Maggie was fatally shot, Alex sent her one last text to throw investigators off. Maggie never got a chance to go visit Alex Murdaugh's dying father because that was never a part of his real plan. Alex had a plot to get rid of his family after Maggie arrived at Moselle. Maggie's sister described her as a loving mom and a good person.
Kind of a free spirit. She was always up for anything that was going on. She loved her family. She loved her boys. Buster and Paul were her world. She loved my parents. We, joked how we would grow old together and take care of them. And she was just a really, really good person.
Now that Alex Murdaugh is sentenced to 2 life sentences, he won't be able to prey on people. Welcome to your new forever home, Alex. Maggie and Paul was just some of the victims that he stole something from. The judge told Alex that he had a beautiful family, and Alex tried to con and convince him that he was innocent. Sadly, in the case of his wife and son, he took something they can't get back: their lives. He still have 90 other cases he is facing. He have a history of scamming people. There was also rumors that Alex was having an affair with another attorney, and Maggie's sister said that he cheated on her a long time ago. Alex Murdaugh got away with his crimes for over a decade, and it's time for him to finally be held accountable. He will spend the rest of his life in jail, and I hope the rest of his victims will be compensated for what he stole from them. In the next episode, we will get to know who Maggie Murdaugh really was. We are going to focus on her life. See you next time.